And we are live. So,
Haha.
hello. Hey,
Hello.
everybody.
Hello there.
Welcome to an As Father and um, kind of not really live stream, but we're streaming together so that we can talk about the Mandalorian. And it has been a while. It
We
is
still back.
November. We back exactly. Gosh, so the last thing we did was we
August?
did a thing we did a thing in August for an event that we still actually, it isn't on the page yet, but maybe by the time you watch this, I'll have it out there on the page. But we talked about the parenting in Star Wars. So go look for that video. There won't be a link here because I'm not going to do that. But yeah, we've been gone for a while. This year has been a crazy year. We did earlier this year. Some of you joined us for our Saturday morning cartoons, which was fun. But we're trying to get back in the swing of things. This year's thrown us off. We've had, there's some big thing going on, but the biggest thing that has happened this year was a new baby for that guy. And that's kind of taken us, some time that we've had to sit back. I'm doing a lot of rambling. Why aren't you talking? Talk, son. Talk.
I don't know.
Where are you?
Yeah, you have a baby and then you're tired all the time, and trying to. It's just been hard to get schedules to align for everybody, but we're doing it now. We still talk Star Wars all the time. We just haven't been able to set up a camera when we do it.
Right. Which is why we're here now, and we're actually going to cover 3 chapters of The Mandalorian because we just haven't had time to do them one by one. And that's our goal going forward after this episode of As Father and Son. We're going to talk about Chapter 9, Chapter 10, and Chapter 11 because, they go in order numerically. So we're going to do that, and then hopefully week to week afterwards. It is funny.
Every time.
It makes it so easy to follow.
Yeah, it really does.
But yeah, if you have not watched any of The Mandalorian yet, what are you doing here? Go watch it. Don't listen to us about it. You watch it, then come see if you're interested in what we have to say about it. So there's three episodes, 3 chapters we're going to talk about. And let's just get started. So The Mandalorian finally came back in early November, and it started out with an episode called The Marshal.
And man, it started out with a bang. Like, just all around. From the Gamorrean underground wrestling.
That was so cool and weird and fun. And I love it when Star
everything about it was weird. And I love it.
I mean, even the Gore, I wrote his name down. So I went Gore Koresh, which was John Leguizamo voice acted, but he had a comb over. I mean, he was a Cyclops with one eye with a comb over. I mean, okay, that was weird and I loved it. And then, of course, he tries to betray the Mando.
Yeah,
and we get to see the whistling birds again.
Yes, the child that hits the button and the thing closes. Yes, the whole aesthetic from what we've seen this season is just very 70s and very weird, and I love it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the whole fighting rink was very 70s Rocky, in a way. And those big, huge Gamorrean guards just going at each other. That was just fun. That's just like they said, Jon Favreau said, and Dave Filoni, it's like they are when they were kids, just taking your action figures and just playing. That's what they're doing, and they're getting to film it, and we're getting to watch it, and I'm all here for it. So yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Then we get to go back to Tatooine, which I didn't expect, but I was so glad that we did.
I was happy, yeah.
I enjoyed seeing...
Well, yeah, because we get to go back to the aesthetic of Tatooine that we all love from A New Hope, but also the new characters we're getting to see again. And I loved Amy Sedaris as Peli. I think you say it Peli Moto or Moto. I mean, what a great character. And when she sees, first season, she's like, she doesn't see the child, and she's like, things don't quite look the same or whatever. And then he produces the child, and she's like, yes. And she wants to buy him.
Everybody, or buy his, if he, what'd she say, buds or reproduces or whatever.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Like everyone's response to the kid. Yeah, that was great. And then we get to meet the greatest hair in the galaxy.
Oh, yeah. So she sends, or he gets on the speeder and he goes out and he finds the town he's looking for. And holy cow, if we don't see Boba Fett armor, which some of us knew from reading the Aftermath series that it had been found by this character who was a side character named Cobb Vanth. And the fact that they brought him to live action television is just perfect. But then you got Timothy Olyphant, Danny Cordray, pulls it off, and like that moment in Shrek when
Yeah, with
Prince
Prince
Charming
Charming
does his
hair.
hair. Whoosh. Yeah, so that's been all the talk and the buzz on Twitter and social media is Cobb Vanth hair, and every nerd my age and younger is wanting to grow their hair out now like Cobb Vanth. But you know,
I mean, he's not a bad
I
looking
can't grow a
dude.
beard, so I can't get the gray facial hair. So I leave that to my other friends who can do that. I'm jealous. But yeah, no. So anyway, we got way sidetracked, which is easy to do when you see the
Who
hair.
didn't? Who didn't?
We did. So, but no, it's so cool because immediately Mandalorian is like, "Where did you get that armor?
Mhm.
Give me that. I'm going to shoot you right here, right now." And and Cobb Vanth's like, "We're going to do this. We're going to do this here." And the kids over there, it's great. So,
Yeah, it's a great, just subtle detail, but you can tell the armor doesn't fit him. It's
right.
it hangs loose in some spots and is too small in others, and I love
Yeah,
that.
it wasn't made for him,
Yeah,
and he's rocking it. But yeah, it is. It's weird because
and
he's
like the helmet even didn't really fit his head. Like it looked a little
right.
too short. Like you could kind of see his
Yeah,
chin and neck underneath, which was just a nice detail compared to, you know, the Mandalorian, that like this is his armor and it was made for him, and this is like
right.
it's a part of his body, and it was just a really neat difference to have
Yeah.
him.
Well, and I love that the armor is still dinged up. I love that
Mhm.
it's even got more wear and tear on it because it's been in the
Belly of
stomach
a
of the belly of a
Sarlacc,
sarlacc for
yeah.
we don't know how long,
We
and
don't
that's
know how
great.
long.
Now,
Yeah.
Mandalorian's 3 to 5 years after, so how long ago did Cobb Vanth find it? 6 months ago. So was Boba Fett trapped in there for that long, and it spit
Hmm.
him out or spit the armor out? We don't
We
know.
don't know.
That's
But we'll
part
get
of
to
the
that in a
fun.
second, because
Yeah.
first they got to go talk to some Tusken Raiders and bring in callback to Attack of the Clones, which
Oh
is
my
just
gosh, the
great.
dogs. Yes.
Yeah.
And when he was like petting them and talking to them, that was
Yeah.
great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love how
Very.
they're putting everything in this show that they can to make everything cohesive. Everything
Yeah.
has some amount of connective tissue.
Yeah, it's got connections obviously to the original trilogy, but then
Right.
little nods like that to the prequels, or like the pit droids from episode 1, being working on the Razor Crest. And
We didn't even mention how he was okay with them touching the
yeah,
Razor Crest this
to
time. So that
show that
shows
time has
character growth.
passed. Yeah.
Yes, time has passed. He has passed. He has grown as a character. Also, with IG-11 sacrificing himself, he realized
Mhm.
that not all droids are bad. They're
Yeah.
not all murderous killers.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah.
We get our first glimpse of a crate dragon before we really see a crate dragon.
Yeah.
They go through the whole process of explaining, like they make offerings of a bantha so that he won't, he'll eat and he'll sleep and he won't eat them and everything. And then he doesn't even take the bantha. He eats the Tusken that had gone out there.
Yes.
Like that was such a nice, what's going to happen. He's going to send it out there and it eats the bantha and then that's it. But he doesn't. And it showed the unpredictable nature that, like, these Tuskens, they think they've got a system, but if you pay attention, their system doesn't work at all. So what are they doing? That was a nice little kind of subversion. And then very much embracing the, old Western trope with the tribe of Tuskens and the village people having to band together against a common enemy. Like that was just,
Right.
it was just so good.
Yeah.
My wife pointed something out that didn't even stand out to me. That was just a perfect continuity. The Tuskens riding in single file.
Yeah.
When they ride into
I
the
hadn't
town,
noticed that till you
they're in
told
a
me.
single file
Yeah.
line. And it's just, I mean, of course they are, which you kind of
Right.
don't notice it because of course they're riding in single file, but they have to ride in single file because that's what Obi-Wan says they do. Like it was great. And then, I mean, the best monster movie sequence we've ever had in a Star Wars anything, the full on fight with the crate dragon.
But the moment that it happened, you and I were watching it together at your house, and was it me or you that noticed? I think I noticed. I said, "Wait, did it just go into IMAX mode or whatever?" The aspect ratio changed as the
As
dragon
the
was coming
jaws
out.
open and is
Yeah,
coming out.
I was
Yeah.
like, so then it just puts you in that moment of everything is big in this
Yeah.
moment. I loved that.
Which is that's kind of an old trick that's been used a couple times before. Galaxy Quest is one. that is a fun use where in the theater, they don't really do it anymore, but they used to have curtains on the screen of the theater. And so there was a 3-step when you watched Galaxy Quest in the theater. First, it would start with like small screen, and then the curtains would pull back, and it went, to a wider ratio. And then the first time that Tim Allen steps out and like realizes he's in space, the whole thing goes full screen. That's an old trick to kind of trick your eyes into experiencing the character's experience of scale, which my reaction to was, I think this is Jon Favreau's way of saying this whole season is going to be on a much bigger scale than the last season was, and it worked.
It worked. And you were the one that noticed it, because I remember now, you were like, this aspect ratio changed. And I was like, it did? And like, oh my God, yeah, it did. So that was really fun.
That was great.
And you're right.
Fight.
Yeah. Oh, everything about it. I mean, was so well directed and well shot that monster looked real. I mean, the banthas looked real. I don't know how they did them. I know in A New Hope they were elephants. I don't know that they used elephants. I don't know if they built an animatronic or what, but everything immersed me in to believe that it was real. There was nothing that I went, that's a creature. That's a creature effect. It just looked real.
Felt real.
Yeah.
Nice nods to Iron Man, like with Cobb Vanth blowing up the Raiders as they're driving away. That was cool. Like all of it just felt.
Well, him telling his story in the belly of the Jawa transport thing was really cool. Some nods to the I can't think of the head of the android character I can't think of the name of it. Everybody, it, so you know what I'm talking about. The white looking face, the white looking face thing a Jawa was holding when he's telling the story. It's one that was in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
CJ. No, hang on.
What white?
It looks like a skeleton droid. And it's the head of a droid.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
I think that's the word droid. You just said the white with the
I said android.
I missed you say that.
Don't you love it right here that we're just not even going to edit this out? We're just going to go. You know what I'm talking about? The one that looks like a skeleton face.
Now I know
the name. It's a CZ something or other.
CZ Top.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, some Star Wars fan I am. Fake fan. I don't even know the name of
You're
the CZ.
fired.
Yeah, I'm done. Anyway, but I thought it was a great call out. They're doing all these little Easter eggs throughout the series, and then Cobb Vanth looks over his shoulder and he sees the Mandalorian armor of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just his story was great, and I think that's part of what makes it. It's part of what immerses us into the world of the Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's so good. And then we got to move on to the next episode, but the last shot of episode 1 or episode, 11.
And that's when I noticed that the aspect ratio changed. I was like, oh, it went back down.
Yeah.
Right. That was
Boba
really
Fett's
cool.
alive, officially in canon. Boba Fett survived.
And then as he turns around, I know every fan wants to pause it, and we all do, so you can see his face. And every screenshot that I've seen shows that he has no eyebrows and he has no hair. So did the acid burn it off? How long was he in there?
So here is my theory that I'm just going to put out there, and I'm perfectly content to be wrong. So they established that the crate dragon was holed up in the remains of what used to be a Sarlacc pit, that you only get a empty Sarlacc pit by eating the Sarlacc, and that explosions or other things can get the attention of a crate dragon. So my theory is that in Return of the Jedi, when they blow up Jabba's sail barge, that got the attention of the crate dragon. And potentially moments after Han, Luke, and Leia and crew fly away, it could have been moments, could have been days, weeks, we don't know, but it could have been immediately after the crate dragon shows up, kills the Sarlacc, eats it, and we've seen that Mandalorian armor can survive the acidic stomach acid of a dragon. So it could have been that immediately after Boba escapes, and for some other reason he has to ditch his armor that we find out about later in something canon. But it could have been like the same day. It probably wasn't, but it could have been. That's the running theory I have so far. So
question though, since we're theorizing, do we think we're going to get that backstory this season?
Absolutely.
And will we see Boba Fett again? Will we see Boba Fett again this season?
Maybe we see him again, but honestly,
more of a cameo.
Yeah, I don't know. I almost
Because
wonder if they did that, it'll be acknowledged, but I almost wonder if they're building up to do their own, like, something with Boba Fett separately. Like, they've brought him back into the canon, they've let us know that he's out there, and then maybe they don't even do anything with that in The Mandalorian. Maybe, but that would kind of be a waste because Boba Fett was the original Mandalorian. So much of what we've seen is based on the original drawings and holiday special and all the stuff with Boba. They've been nodding to that. I think full circle, they're dealing too with the idea that there are different types of Mandalorian way. It was acknowledged in the Clone Wars that Jango Fett wasn't a true Mandalorian.
True. Yeah.
So really the idea of being a Mandalorian is in question through the whole series, and maybe they'll deal with that by bringing Boba back in. I don't know, but I enjoyed seeing him. Bottom line, it was cool. I liked it. It was cool.
I want to do a little nod and a shameless plug. So at the beginning of the episode, when Mando was walking into the fight with the Gamorrean guards and all that, he sat down by that Gore Koresh or whatever, and they looked at the kid, and he said, "Wherever I go, he goes." Well, shameless plug. I'm gonna write a song called "Wherever I Go" for this group right here. Yeah, that's my shameless plug. If you don't know what this is, I'm not gonna say the name. Just look us up. Anyway, we do Star Wars songs. Okay, move on. Shameless plug.
So next episode, we get the second best monster movie we've had,
and it's called
The
Passenger. Because Pelimoto tells him how he can go on his way to find more Mandalorians, but only if he gives a ride to one of the weirdest characters we've ever had in Star Wars, and I love her, the Frog Lady.
It was great. Yeah, just calling her Frog. Like, even if you turn the subtitles on, she's just called Frog Lady.
She's called Frog Lady.
Like, Frog Lady speaks frog.
and Pelimoto speaks frog. I love that she speaks frog. I would almost want to attempt to try to do it, but it would be more funny than I think anybody can handle. So
it was great. Yeah, loved the very isolated, self-contained. Loved seeing the X-Wings and the chatter on the X-Wings of them like, hey, can you switch over to channel 2? And like, they're like, you know, the moment that the S-foils lock an attack position, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It was so good. And the whole chase through the ice, and
that was so good. Yeah. I mean, seeing an ice planet, and I don't know if we got a name for that. It was just some random place he went down to, but just all of that was just, the aesthetic was so fun and cold. Just watching it made me feel cold.
And the eggs, that I love them dealing with the aspects of like having a kid who's wanting to touch everything and everything. Again, I'm experiencing this show with a now 8-month-old, and so like everything about it is my kid does that. Like, you turn around for like 5 seconds and he's got a thing in his mouth that he's not supposed to have in his mouth, and like, that's parenting a baby. Like, it's so funny. Like, we've got he's to the point now where he's crawling, and he's got a little walker, and he's like trying to stand up on his own, and every time I turn my back, or like I get a picture or video from my wife through the day, that he's like, you turn around and he's got like electrical wires that he's pulled out of the wall, and like he's got them in his hand, like, and you catch him and like lock eyes with him as he's trying to put it in his mouth, and like, that's parenting. I love that they're playing with that, and also that he's hungry all the time.
He's a child and he's hungry all the time. Mando is trying to teach him no, and he's trying to teach him, I think he says mind your manners in one of the episodes, I can't remember, but it's like he's trying to teach him manners. He's trying to teach him right and wrong, and the child doesn't get it. The child doesn't know that those were the eggs from someone that is trying to get him to her husband to be fertilized to not end their line. But he's just like, that's an egg, I'm gonna eat that. Of course I'm gonna eat that. If he could have eaten the silver colored knob that he pulled off of the gear,
because that's what babies do. Speaking of eggs, though, we had a nice little alien.
Oh my gosh!
Moment.
Yeah,
I have expected it to be a face hugger, which we kind of got in the next episode.
Kinda, yeah.
But oh my gosh, it's like, as soon as he pulled it out,
you love spiders, right?
As soon as he pulled it out and I saw the legs, I was like, I know exactly where this is going. And, oh my gosh, because they weren't exactly what we see in Rebels, but kind of like that. And that was the worst. It was just the worst. It was great, and I hated it.
But it was great CGI because,
Oh yeah.
again, I was immersed and it felt real. I did it for a
Nothing
minute.
in this has taken me out like, oh, that was cheap.
Yeah.
That didn't work. Like
No.
it's been so
Even
consistent,
they gave
so
us
good.
the perspective, the first person view of the baby through the spider's eyes. Wasn't that the
Mhm.
one? Or am I thinking of the next?
Mm.
But I think it was where it was like he saw a myriad of faces. I thought that was a really neat shot to capture.
Yeah, they've done such a good job, and like the tearing the Razor Crest apart, like that when the second big one
Oh,
comes in and breaks through the glass, like I didn't expect them to go that far, and for the
right.
X-wing
And that poor
pilots to show up,
ship.
the poor ship, oh my gosh! But when the
Well, you're missing one
Republic,
of the greatest moments, though. Hold on, let's skip back. We'll go back to the New Republic saving the day. Before they got there, we got to see Frog Lady in a hot tub, warming
don't make
up
this
in a
weird.
heated
Don't
pool.
make
No,
this weird.
I don't mean that. But here's my point is this: you skipped over something that makes Star Wars fun. Is that Star Wars gets weird? We already have a
Yeah.
frog lady. That's weird. Now
Yeah.
she's warming herself up and warming her eggs up,
Oh,
and
and she
there was
hacked
a hot
into a
tub.
droid's vocabulator so she could speak
Yes,
basic.
that was awesome. We skipped
Yeah.
over that. We don't want to miss that part. That was really cool. She's a super intelligent lady.
Mhm.
She's not just she's a very sentient, intelligent
Mhm.
creature. But the thing I didn't want to skip over was when they had to run and Frog Lady starts
Gosh, that was so
leaping.
cool.
The leaping was like, this is so weird and I
So
love
weird,
it.
so cool, and I
I
love
never
it.
thought I would see a frog lady leaping like a
And I would be
frog to
emotionally
escape a monster
invested in her
spider.
leaping, but like she
And
did it, and I was like, "Go!"
it was
Yeah,
so
it was
weird.
great. It was weird and great, and I
Yeah.
loved it.
So
That's
yeah,
my review
exactly.
of the show as a whole. It was weird and great, and I loved it.
That was it. No, we'll
That's
move
the
on to
tag for
chapter.
this.
It's weird, great.
Um,
So
so
anyway,
I
so
don't
yeah,
think
then we
we
get to
discussed
the
this.
rescue of the X-wing guys show up and they're
Mhm.
gonna save the day.
When they
Yeah.
show up, they say they ran the records and that it was on the record that he tried to say, I can't remember the name, but that he tried to save the life of a Republic officer. That's a
Yeah,
reference
Davin.
to
A
the
reference to what?
to the prison when they're trying to they
Right.
break into
Yes.
the Republic prison.
Right.
Like
And
he
the
was the
guy that
one that
right, the
that he
lieutenant or
tried to
whatever.
save him and tried to stop them from killing him. Like
Yeah,
I love
played by
that
Matt
reason.
Lanter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that they let
Yeah.
him go. They
Mhm.
don't help him, but they let him go.
Yeah.
That was a cool little thing.
Yeah, because
Um,
he even said, well, how about the bounty that because he also captured
mhm,
3 criminals and locked them up for them. He was like, you guys can help me fix my ship, and I'll waive the bounty.
mhm.
He tried.
He
He
did,
tried as a bounty hunter should try, but they were like, how
technically.
about we?
In that case, though, he could get paid for those bounties because they didn't agree to that
They
exchange, so he
didn't.
could still
So
get paid for that.
if he
Um,
sees them again, he's like, you guys owe me money.
yeah, so that was fun. The third episode,
Yes. So chapter 11 is the heiress.
Heiress.
For obvious reasons. But
Gosh.
first, we start out with them getting to the goal of getting to
Mhm.
Trask, the planet with the water and the ocean. And the goal for the Frog Lady was to meet up with her husband, which, come on, what a sweet moment when they saw
Right.
each other from across the
Yeah,
way.
they
I
got us
mean,
emotionally invested in a non-English speaking frog couple. Like that was
and
one
we
of the
don't even
best
get their
reunions.
names.
They don't have names. They don't like
Yeah.
they don't speak any language we understand, but we're all like everybody unanimously was like, they got back together. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, how cool that they
It was a
pulled
sweet
off
moment.
such a
Yeah.
weird, effective, sweet moment.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
then he goes into the cantina there on Trask
yeah.
and he gets told that somebody can ferry him out to where he can find those of his kind that wear Beskar. So that moves the story along, gets him out on a boat, which we rarely see in Star Wars. The only other boat in water that I can remember, other than Rey on the skiff, that doesn't count, but an actual vessel was in The Last Jedi when they go to Canto Bight, and that big yacht is in the water, and then it goes off the
Look at that guy.
waterfall
Yeah.
and goes into the air.
Yeah.
So this is a really cool moment for
It was,
Star
yeah.
Wars to have a boat in the
Mhm.
water.
It's just not something that you see, but it's cool to know that it's there. Let me just say, I came up off the couch when they kicked the child down into the thing. Like I just wasn't. Nothing about what was going on had rubbed me wrong, and I think that's why I reacted so strongly, because I'm usually so suspicious of stuff, but I was just kind of along for the ride. Like, yeah, he's just going to go and they're going to take him and some kind of hijinks will happen, but this is fine. But they kicked him in the thing and I like physically came off the couch.
Yeah, same. That was just like a moment of like, wait, what? No, you can't do that. And then, immediately he's going in to try to rescue the child, and then he's trapped under there. But what a great job they did with those Quarren. I mean, the tentacles, everything looked so, again, immersing me in immediately. It looked so real. It was so nice. But then to save the day is that moment of, Mandalorians flying down.
So cool and so well done. And like, I hadn't noticed at first that the shot of Bo reaching down to grab his hand is the same shot from when he's a kid of a Mandalorian reaching down to grab, which to me suggests the first steps into a new way, because we discover he's part of a weird cult that the Mandalorians are like real Mandalorians are like, that's not a thing. I was trying
that was like all through season 1, everybody's like, why do they not take their helmets off? We've seen the Clone Wars, those Mandalorians all take their helmets off. And immediately it only took a few sentences of dialogue to explain it away and us go, oh, that makes sense.
And it does make sense. It was funny. I was talking about it with a friend, and I was like, it's kind of like different denominations of Christianity, where it's like you've got Bo-Katan's way is like, maybe they're like the Catholics and they're like, technically we've got the original way, and then Din Djarin's Mandalorians are the Pentecostals that are like, ours is super weird, but we've actually got the right one. And then you've got like the non-denominational like Satines that are like, can we all just be friends? And it just none of them agree on anything, but they're all trying to say that they're the true Mandalorians. It's kind of the same. That was how I felt about it.
Well, and that they called it, Bo-Katan called it the Watch, which immediately makes you think of Death Watch, which she was a part of. If you have watched the Clone Wars, if you haven't watched the Clone Wars, go watch it. You don't have to, because they're going to continue to make these stories interesting.
If you're watching us, you've probably watched the Clone Wars.
You probably are, yeah. And to know that she was a part of the Death Watch under Maul, and then was a bit cultish herself, and she broke away from it. So she's like someone getting out of a cult going, you're a part of that, but here, I'm going to extend my hand to you.
She wasn't under Maul. She was in opposition to Maul.
Yes, but I think I can't remember.
Maul.
I was thinking there was a moment when Maul was in charge of the Death Watch, and she was a part of the Death Watch, and then she rebelled out of that. I think for a brief moment, she was a part of his Death Watch group for a while, and then rebelled.
I can't remember. We're lingering too long.
Yeah, we are. So, but anyway, how about great new Mandalorian characters? How about, I'm looking at their names so I don't cheat, but Casca Reeves and Axe Woves, great Mando names.
Just great Star Wars names in general.
Yeah. And seeing them fight, seeing their the armor. I mean, Bo-Katan's armor looked so much
like it had been lifted from the cartoon, but it was real. It was just,
and I kept looking at it going, is that animated? No, that's really her. She's really standing there.
That good looking. Like, oh my
gosh! And to have Katie Sackhoff get to play the role, and then when she took that helmet off, and then her hair's red, and she's got the headband thing with the lights on it and all, and I'm just like, yes, it's her.
Oh, and they did such a, like, the action sequences this season are so good. And when he goes through the hallway and is just letting the stormtroopers shoot him, and he's just taking it because he can.
Yeah.
Like, that was so good. Was cool. That was so good. So they get through, they take out the stormtroopers, and she says the thing. I have not reacted so strongly to 2 words since the first time Rey reverently whispers Luke Skywalker. Like, oh my gosh. She says Ahsoka Tano, and again came up.
I was out of the chair. I was just like, yeah, it was so fun.
So excited,
honestly. And hey, let's not forget that she sarcastically does say this is the way to him. earlier in the episode when he's just like, I can't remember the exact setting, but for her to say this is the way, sarcastically, like, huh, yeah, I know how you guys use that. But then later in the episode, when she does reveal you can find Ahsoka Tano, she sincerely says this is the way. And that was kind of cool. That was a really cool, like,
yeah. I'm so excited to see where this goes. Don't expect to see Ahsoka for a while. Could be wrong. Don't expect to. But I'm just, so I've had a thought, and I've been saving this for this conversation. I don't think I've said this to you yet.
Okay.
This is a thought that I had that I don't think they'll do, but they could. They might. What if all of this ends up with them needing help to hide the child, or to make him disappear, or to take him to where the Jedi are? Because Ahsoka, as we know, technically is not a Jedi. What if this ends up with Ahsoka taking the child to where the new Jedi Order is being founded, and it ends...
Stop. You froze, so I didn't get that. What if this ends up with them taking her or taking the child, and then I lost you?
Terrible time for it to freeze. Yeah. What if this ends up with them taking the child to Ahsoka, not this season, like long term, like multiple seasons down the line? What if the end result of this is Ahsoka taking the child to where the new Jedi Order is being founded, and it ends with Ahsoka meeting Luke?
Oh, for the first time.
Luke and Ahsoka getting to meet and have a conversation. Like, cool. I don't expect that that'll happen, but
that's a good fan theory, though. It's fun a nice, to do. That's what we do.
What if? I love the what if of that. Like, what if this resulted in Ahsoka meeting Luke for the first time?
That would be fun.
Because I just need to know that it happens, okay? I just need to know that she gets to tell him about what Anakin used to be, and he gets to tell her how things ended up. I need that.
We all need that. I know. I agree. I think we all do need that.
Yeah. Loving this season. It's so good. It's so much fun. They're doing such a good job of the world building. We're starting to get back to the Moff Gideon problem. And what they're going to be up to. I'm so excited to see where all this goes.
Yeah, this was so fun. All of it. We covered 3 chapters here because we were behind. Like I said, we're going to do individuals after this. But this was, I'm sitting here thinking, what did we miss? There's so much that in each of these episodes, I think there's probably something cool we didn't talk about. All 4 Mandalorians with their jetpacks flying. I mean, that was so cool. The mission to get onto the ship. Oh gosh, we haven't even talked about them getting on to the ship that they got onto, and then that had the weapons and stuff on it. So Bo-Katan, they want the weapons to use because they're trying to go back and save Mandalore. So they've got their own alternate plan.
So we're going to end up on Mandalore.
Yeah.
Before the show is over, we're going to see a live action Mandalore.
I mean, and what about ship? I didn't even talk about being directed by. That was, I'm getting confused. The Ice Planet one I wanted to talk about it was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, and how she mirrored the shot of the of the Razor Crest coming in to her father's movie Apollo 13, which I know you said you haven't seen. I can't believe what a horrible father I've been. You haven't seen that movie, so that's next on our playlist. Just really cool shots like that. The shot that I'm thinking now from Heiress episode, when that ship is going up into space as it leaves the ship that the Imperials are on. It was just a really cool shot. And then the Imperial, did you recognize? I don't think I've asked this. The Imperial commander, did you recognize the actor? He's the man in black from Lost. And that was really cool. I mean, and then I've seen some really funny memes of like advertising chewing gum when he bites into the thing and sets it on fire.
Yeah.
Some people have created some funny memes, but just stuff like that. I mean, they're building us this like Imperial presence that we don't know where it's going to go. And we can theorize of where it might be leading, because the Imperials, he talked to Moff Gideon on the holo projector, and it was like, long live the Empire. What? The Empire's dead? Really? Long live the Empire? I don't know where they're going, so we're going to see. We'll talk about that after the next episode. So this was fun. So we're a little longer than we usually go, 30 minutes here, but hope you guys have enjoyed our review. Yeah, it was 3 episodes. So we had a lot to cover. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. And again, we will have another episode after episode 12 that will be an individual episode. We'll go a little longer just on 12 itself. So this was a lot of fun. We appreciate you guys joining us. And we're having a lot of fun with The Mandalorian. We hope you guys are too.
It's a great time.
Yeah. This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way intensifies. I love that meme.
I know.
Well, and in our usual fashion, this is the way we end the show. Bye.